Cue Nobody No Crime by Taylor Swift. I thought you were gonna cue it for real.
Oh, no, I'm looking for the.
What up, Pookies? No, Queenies. What up, Queenies? This is a very special episode because technically when we came up with the idea for this podcast, this was the first episode that we thought of. Like we had it planned out.
Yes.
And we've just kept pushing it because I don't know. I think we just wanted it to be for like spooky season. Where are we, Natalie? We're in like
the desert.
No, we're in the back lot of a store.
Why you gotta look at me like that?
The way he's like,
you are coming back.
We're in the back lot of the store.
The shopping center.
Yes. 111 on that number. Sorry.
Yes, so the whole reason why this podcast came to be was because of this first episode that we wanted to do, but then we made a list, and that list has
other episodes.
And is still growing of other episodes that we have in mind. But
anyways, by the title of this,
not by the title of this, by the outfits. If you're looking at if you're listening, by the title. If you're looking, by the title too, but by the outfit that Leslie's wearing.
Let's see. I'm wearing this leather trench coat. Okay, it's also giving spy. Mine. It's Natalie's. And then literally just a black shirt. And then I have my black running shorts. We're not going to talk about that because you can't see them. So,
it's giving COVID.
From here up.
Like you dress up from the top up pretty, and then from the bottom. You're wearing pajamas.
I don't care because I'm going to go to eat after this.
I was gonna say it's giving because we talked about Taylor Swift reputation or whatever, bestie. Yeah, and it's also giving Inspector Gadget.
It is. I actually like that movie, the first one. I don't think I've seen the second one. All right, Natalie, what are you dressed up as?
Hold on.
When they go to jail.
Yes, mine. I have a reason. Is mimes. It's giving mimes because I have a black and white knitted sweater.
Yeah.
But I also say it's because mind your own business. Like mind your business type of thing.
Anyways.
Like when you're doing true crimes, like mind your business. I'm gonna figure this out type of stuff.
Type of thing. If you didn't get it by all of this,
Oh, I need my notebook.
You keep
talking.
Doing true crimes.
Yeah, you keep talking. Wait, you keep talking. This is the intro. You keep talking.
Okay, we're doing true crime. The idea for this podcast actually came to be because I love listening to true crime podcasts, and I wanted to do a podcast like that. But then Natalie was like, "But like, what other topics can we talk about?" So we morphed it into what it is today. Anyways,
I hate crime podcasts.
Oh.
Like,
yeah, you do.
Scary ones. There was this one that you would listen to, and she would listen to this as she is sewing. Where her sewing office was next to my room.
It's just
what time was it when she was listening to it?
Midnight.
It was midnight. You know what I was hearing at midnight?
Also, like when I would
creepy songs.
When I would drive to work and Natalie would be with me or something, and like I'd turn on, she's like, "Please put music, please put music." She would get scared. I love
my thing is she's like, it happened already. I was like, okay, yeah, but this goes back to it could happen again.
True.
Anyways,
yeah. So today's topic is about
true crime.
Do you want to
the true crime of fashion?
Wait, that's actually good.
The true crime is you wearing those biker shorts with that outfit.
That is a true crime. That's a fashion crime. I'm sorry.
Give her a fine.
Take me to jail. If you couldn't tell, I'm pointing at Natalie's sweater.
Anyways, so let's start this podcast. So, hi, I'm Natalia.
And I'm Leslie Marie.
And this is the While You're Early, We Are Fashionably Late podcast.
Where we talk about the clothing we wear and the untold but very true stories about why we wear what we wear.
Who said that? Who said that?
You did.
Who knows?
Who knows? Because
Who knows?
Because if you like zoom into your face, it looks like you said it.
I'm sorry. I have so much energy because I drink a cold brew.
10 coffees.
I'm drinking a tea that has caffeine in it. Like I have too many sugar in my system,
which is great.
Caffeine. Do I have the same amount of food in my system? Not really.
No.
But you know what?
I feel like
It's okay.
sometimes you make drinks your meals.
Yes.
Which, you know, is it a crime? I don't know.
Is it a crime? Is it a crime?
I don't know.
I should have been locked up years ago if it was
I have
a crime.
a bump right here on my
Sorry, no, I should
of
not
my
be.
hair. Ignore it.
Anyways, the true crimes. This is not a crime, criminal, whatever, majigger
We're
podcast,
just going into the
but its episode is
fashion.
true crimes, which has to do with, we were talking about Halloween, spooky season, the previous episode, and this episode is true crimes.
True crimes. Also, I think
November.
this came to be because we watched the movie House of Gucci.
Which
I'm sorry.
Which
I know what you're gonna say.
Which.
I'm so sorry.
I
thought you knew.
No. I knew of what happened. Like, no, not of what happened. I just know he died. But I didn't know how, what, when, whatever. If you watch House of Gucci, and I will probably spoil it if you haven't, but literally,
it's just like, I feel like if you like
the
fashion,
beginning is
you
the
would
end.
know.
The beginning is the end type of situation. I was going into this blindly. Like, I was like, I don't know anything, whatever. You know what this Pookie says? She goes, oh, that's when he dies. And I was like,
she was literally shot, and this was like 2 minutes into the movie.
And I was like,
how did you not know?
She's like, this is what the movie's about. And I was like, okay, I thought this movie was about learning about Gucci, how it became Gucci, the family thing.
The downfall.
Like, yes, I know he died. Like, that was a part of it too. But I was like,
she didn't know that the ex-wife had sent him to get killed.
Not ex-wife, wife.
Oh,
They
yeah,
weren't
because they
divorced.
never got divorced.
Anyways, Leslie spoils movies as
sorry.
she does TV shows, as she does every other thing that I have not yet watched.
It was common knowledge.
Not for me.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I'm not studying fashion. I'm studying graphic design, and I know about the crimes of typography.
Anyways,
papyrus in Avatar. Crime.
Crime. You know that Ryan Gosling SNL skit?
Crime.
That's what it reminds me of.
I can't sleep at night.
That's a crime for Natalie.
Using typography fonts that
Wrong.
don't go. Crime. Using. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I will go on a rant.
Okay, wait. Actually, now that we're getting into this, what is a fashion crime for you? Like an outfit, an item, a garment that you see as a crime. For me, it's flip-flops. There's no reason to wear flip-flops unless you're at the beach. Not even at home, like at the beach. Like,
well, if you're cleaning, like.
But still, like, no, like you could get slippers. Like, there's no reason that should be a part of your outfit for like to go out in public unless you're going to the beach. For me, it's that. It's flip-flops. That's a crime.
I feel like a crime for me would
Fashion
be wearing like sweat type of like combos, but not wearing it good. Wearing it like the Justin Bieber version. The principal from Matilda.
Yeah.
But not like street style. Like not like Gigi Hadid or something like that she would wear. Like, that's a crime. Like, I get it. It's a plain color, a plain silhouette. But like, add some spice to it. That's
I know the last episode was Halloween. That was another couple's costume where people dressed up as Haley and Justin. That made me a crime. Laugh.
Like,
that was a crime.
I get it. Sorry, you're comfortable in those sweats. But like, if she is promoting something red, wear red sweats.
And this is your wife? Like,
just wear red sweats. Like, if you
you could still wear sweats, just
if
red.
you wear just wear red. Yeah. Just wear red. I would have been okay. But you're wearing gray. And everybody else here, the influencers, are wearing dresses also. And I'm like, no, that's a crime.
Okay, I get that. So, workout or sweatpants when it's not.
You know what else is a crime? I'm going to go there. When you mix match patterns. So, if you were wearing polka dots and then stripes. But
or
the polka dots
flannel and polka dots.
I mean, Harry Styles, you're doing beautiful. But
he has a stylist, and it's done nice. I feel like if it's done just like abruptly,
drop the mic. I'm done.
No go. Okay, those are pretty interesting crimes. Now, shall we talk about the movie House of Gucci, Natalie? What did you learn?
The Father, the Son, and the House of Gucci. What I learned? I learned a lot of things. I learned that Leslie spoils movies for me. I learned that it took literally halfway into the movie for Leslie to realize that Paulo was Jared Leto. I knew he was that. because
casting.
I saw like when they were in the red carpet, all this stuff.
Well, I knew he was in it. I just didn't know what.
But it's because mine is that I saw like a thing of like them and the character they played, so I knew that was Jared Leto.
Yeah.
So when Leslie was like, "Whoa, that's Jared Leto," and I was like,
Yeah.
"We're halfway into the movie, bestie. Like,
No,
what do you mean?"
he acted his shit out. Like that man can act. Like I don't know. Like I was surprised. If no one told me that was Jared Leto, I would not have. I mean, I'd still figure it out. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
It would have took her longer.
Yes. Anyways, what did you learn though about the fashion world related to this? The crime, the ambition, all of that.
There's a phrase that the dad, Maurizio's dad says when he first meets Patrizia, which is that art, like beauty, has no price.
Yes.
Which goes back to like the thing of like art is priceless type of thing, and like all this stuff, because it's true. Like you can put a tag as someone who paints, as someone who does all that stuff. It's true. Art has no price because you can do your rate. You can do a thing like how much your art thingy, canvas print thing, whatever.
The materials are
the materials, everything, all the math and all that stuff. But yet it doesn't have a price because it's like, okay, but like mentally, physically, emotionally, like you're not charging enough for those areas.
Exactly.
And it feels the same thing for fashion. It's like all the thoughts and everything, the work of how to make it different, how to make it beautiful, and how to make it something so big, innovative. It doesn't have a price. Like you can see the price tag of like, yeah, this is this much money, but it's true, it doesn't have a price. So I like that phrase where it's like art like beauty has no price. So it's like art and the beauty of fashion, the beauty of what fashion like gives you, that personality, that characteristic, whatever, has no price. Because it's like at the end of the day, it's like you and yourself.
And I feel like it's like you could interpret it, like everyone interprets art differently, right? So like it's always gonna evoke emotion, but for everyone it could be different. Like some people could feel like confused, and then
they don't understand it,
and then other people could feel like intrigued by it, or they could love it. So I mean, I get that. Yeah, I like that. I forgot what quote I liked, but it was basically when my man Al Pacino, his character, where he says something to his son, but it's kind of funny because he's basically calling him an idiot. I thought that was funny. Like their relationship, like them two, like if we had a spin-off show of just them two, it'd be so funny to watch. It was funny, but I know that what happened to them was not funny.
But like the dynamic, those two. The other thing that I noticed, which goes back to the color theory and specifically red, is the red dress and the red lip that Patrizia wore when she first met Maurizio. And that not only foreshadows what she was going to do later on in the way, that she would have to get her hands bloody, and both like actually bloody and cutting like legacies, bloodlines with families and stuff to get where she's at. And like that's what she wore when she first met him. And it foreshadows everything she does for Gucci
and what she represented. And I feel like also, which is so funny because in one way I feel like red is very sultry and very like, you know, like it's like it has to do with love, right? And so yes, he falls in love with her, but at the same time I like that analogy of like everything she had to go through to kind of do that. And then red is also, there's also the colors of the red and the green, what they meant, because of her friend Pina was the one that kind of told her to wear those colors, which are very well known Gucci colors.
Well, the red was for protection and the green was for cleansing. Was what she told her, to wear those two colors,
which is insane because she caused all of that. You know what I'm saying? So she protected herself, but not.
And she, you know what I was thinking right now? What? Let's come into revelation, guys, because this is the true crimes. Figure it out. Figure it out. She's protecting herself, but she's cleansing that bloodline. She's cleaning it out. She said, and no bad juju, but there is bad juju.
And I feel like, so a little bit about, you know, the history of like Gucci. They started off making like accessories, but then also just like travel, like
shoes.
like like shoes, like all that stuff, but also like the bags, like the travel bags,
Mhm.
luggage. There we go.
Luggage.
And like belts, obviously, and all of that stuff. And so it's so like crazy to think that like they were at their top of their game for those specific pieces.
Mhm.
But within the fashion world, since so many new up and coming designers, especially young designers, were taking over like well-known fashion houses at the
Mhm.
time, because this was like late 80s, right, 70s ish, they were technically falling behind on that.
Yes.
And so they needed a like brand new up and coming designer. And so it's kind of like this thing of like she kind of knew what had to be done, but obviously there was still so much negativity. There was crimes committed in order to make it happen.
Committed to do it.
Yeah.
Which, girl boss in a way, but not the way. Not that way.
It's
like
not that
like she had the mentality of a business, but it got twisted.
It got
along
twisted.
the way.
Got twisted. Also,
because it's a crime.
in the beginning when she's like following him around and stuff, it was
Red
giving
flag.
it was giving Mastermind by Taylor Swift.
Her national anthem.
Yeah, that was
I'm a
her.
mastermind.
Yeah.
You know what else it was giving?
Yeah.
Mauricio in that first scene where he was like, "I'm gonna be a lawyer, a good lawyer." And I told Leslie because we're watching Suits right now, and I was like, "It's giving Suits. It's giving Mike Ross. He wants to be a good lawyer.
He wants to be a good lawyer.
He was a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
The whole time
he was a cinnamon.
He
roll.
was a cinnamon. A synonym.
This is where Natalie can't say words. Cinnamon roll.
There we go. Took the words out of my mouth.
It was a cinnamon roll. But yeah, so
that is what we
got
from it.
Also, we also got Tom Ford. Like we saw a little bit of him at the end.
Yeah.
And Tom Ford was also, obviously he's like from Texas, and so at that time it was a lot of European designers. Nobody really wanted to work with him, or give him his chance. But Gucci was so desperate at that time that they wanted a new up and coming designer that they were like, okay, let's give him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's how we got Tom Ford too.
True,
because he started
with Gucci.
Yeah. So that's also interesting to see the history of like designers and it's kind of like a domino effect, because if not, we would have never had him.
No. But aside from this true crime of a film that came out, true crimes, fashion trends, iconic characters, personas, films that were created based off of these people. The first one that I could think of is Bonnie and Clyde.
Classic.
Is two lovers
on the run
giving getaway car.
It's giving Cowboy Like Me. How many Taylor Swift references can we get into this?
Sorry guys, like we have to
it's giving what it's giving.
It's giving getaway car. I'm in the getaway car. I left you in the motel.
I feel like Bonnie and Clyde has been done over and over so many times.
Yes.
And every time you always stick to the outfits. The outfits are so 1930s, right? Like, but it also depends because some of the films were made in the 60s, but you go back to around that time. Mm-hmm. But like, the outfits are so good.
You get like pantsuits, like the jacket, like the tailored like suit jackets, the hats, the beret.
Yeah, like a beret hat.
Is that how you say it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a crime. I don't know how to say this.
It's a crime. Yeah, you get a lot of knit stuff too.
Yeah.
Which primarily for the men, but it's also interesting because in Knives Out, Chris Evans' character has an and he's very well known for that, right? Yes. So it's like it's funny to see how those are still implemented, like pieces are still implemented in crime movies now or whatever.
Yeah, and iconic pieces that like after Knives Out. Yeah. That white knitted sweater that Chris Evans wore, like after everybody for Halloween were wearing like that, and it's like those iconic pieces of killer like in the films and stuff is what you see people wear, and it's like that's so easy. You can go to H&M, you can go to Zara, whatever, you can get a white knitted sweater like that, and then boom.
And I think the interesting part of that too, and his costume in that too, right? He comes from wealth, and yet that jumper of his is like torn. If you look closely, it's like torn and ripped, and so it also like shows that it's like a piece of clothing that meant a lot at one time, but has been like a little bit like not distorted, but like distressed,
Yes.
which also goes into the character of how you were saying like Patricia wore red on the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and he like the whole time you're trying to figure out, which is another spoiler alert, if who's the criminal, and he's the criminal,
Yeah.
right? So it kind of it shows signs throughout it,
And it's funny because like I think this way because, you know, not to be like smarter than all of y'all, but like I took AP classes, and every time we'd watch films, we would focus on like the
Analyzing.
symbolism, like all these different things. Mm-hmm. And so like when I watch a video or like a movie or a show or whatever, I think of it that way. Yeah. So I think of like the colors, I think of how they're acting, I think of like the location. So if it's like 1960s, like it's because this and this happening, and like you know, like the basically history. Tagging and stuff. So for me, when I was watching House of Gucci, yes, I was going into it blindly, got ruined the first 5 minutes, but like after that, knowing who it was and stuff, like I would see her character change, and little things that I was like, her red like symbolizes this and this, or she does this and it's because of this, and like I would use those and words also type of
like
thing.
As her character develops, right, as she like kind of becomes a part of Gucci, her outfits also get elevated, and so she's wearing more like couture and more like fancy clothing, which is nice to see that evolution throughout the movie. I feel like also for like obviously like criminals, right, Bonnie and Clyde as an example, a lot of them would like obviously like rob banks, rob people. They'd be fighting, you know, like gunfighting,
making a statement.
Making a statement, but there was also times where they would go into hiding, right? And so these garments had to keep up with them, but at the same time these garments would have like pieces. So it's like it's almost like going back to the Chris Evans thing, right? They would dress up to the nines. That's why they were so well dressed, because obviously if you see someone dressed to the nines, especially during the time of the Great Depression, which is when it happened, like you're not going to question them and be like, oh, they're the ones that committed a crime, right? There would be the least likely
because of what they're wearing.
But the clues would be in like how wasted the garments would be, right? So like the hems of the dresses would be a little bit wasted, or even the jackets, like you could see if there's tears or rips or bullet holes. So it's stuff like that that's like also intriguing to see how the clothing had worn out, basically.
Yeah. And them adapting to their surrounding and where they were at, especially how you said in hiding. Like they wanted to like be where it was like they were just another person there, so they weren't the next ones to be like looked at, or like they weren't like like suspects for it type of thing. So you know, it makes sense.
And I think it's also because like how we said, like during that time, like it was a Great Depression, right, when you had these true crime like when it first started, and so these people were dressed to the nines, but they had come from poverty. Like that's why they were stealing, that's why they were, you know, doing what they were doing, and this was their way of like overcoming and making a statement and being like, I'm like, with their clothing, right?
And I think like thinking of like the House of Gucci and the Bonnie and Clyde type of scenario, they were well dressed, so nobody questioned that they would be the people.
It would be them.
And like that's what they would do and stuff, so no one expects them committing a crime or doing a crime or being a part of a crime. So then in the House of Gucci at the end, you get like the 2 years later where you get the people that were helping Patricia to commit the crime, dressed like all disheveled, their hair's messy, all this stuff, and then you see her and she isn't, because in a way she's still like, well, I'm dressed nice, so like I would never commit that crime, trying to still like in a way save herself, but it's like, but you know already type of thing. But it's like, it's true, like if she like if we wouldn't have known, I feel like up to this day nobody would have thought her, and they would have thought it was her, her friends, her people and stuff.
Also, I mean, thinking of Al Pacino and all the amazing movies he's been in, I feel like another big part of that, which maybe we could do an episode on, is mobsters and what they would wear too, because even like their rings that they would wear, like obviously they would be like big rings so they could, you know, fight, and like like I'm also thinking of like Peaky Blinders too, with the
Yes.
hats, right, where they had the little like blade in the hats, then when they would
That was
fight.
cool. Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that, like how you said that, like they would use it as a way to protect themselves with how they looked, so like
And
with
how
their
they-
appearance.
yes.
But also they had things in there that would be like actually protect them from when they had to fight and stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Sorry. It just fell.
But you do like now transitioning into like where we see it now, where we see it in the types of films. It's like or shows. It's like how Leslie said. Like we got Peaky Blinders, we got The Sopranos.
The Sopranos is one of them.
And like we
Movies
got The
like
Godfather.
Yeah, Scarface.
The
The
and then
Irishman.
now The Irishman.
Mhm.
But now you have like shows like Prodigal Son, and then
Yeah.
we had Bones.
Prodigal Son is an episode that I feel like a lot of people slept on. If you
Yes.
haven't seen it, go watch it.
So good.
If you like like true crime detective kind of
Mhm.
stuff, it is a bit gory, but I feel like even then, because like how we were going back to like the characters, like you never
Yes.
knew who was the criminal because of the way they were dressed.
The way they were dressed.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
And then we have Gone Girl,
Gone Girl, yeah.
which I read the book.
Changed her identity.
Love the book. I have not watched the movie because I heard it was like
It's good.
it's good.
I've seen it. It's good.
But
It's
I
just
just
like
heard
very real.
it's very real. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Pookie, I need to sleep.
I don't know if I could do that.
I don't know if I could do that. Also, another true crime is daylight saving. It's we taking our
Yes.
lives.
I was about
It
to
is
say,
5
it's
o'clock.
getting darker and darker.
It's getting darker. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Getting darker,
fitting
getting darker.
the mood, but like you can barely see us. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep pushing for this episode, whatever.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have.
And I feel like I was gonna say, like, where have we seen it on the runway, or where have we seen it like worn now, right?
Yes.
I feel like it has a lot to do with like being edgy,
Yes.
like leather, like that's a big one. The color black is a big one. Pinstriped, which is funny because now it goes into like work outfits or
Mhm.
even like grunge outfits,
Yeah.
which is very interesting. But that all like came from that kind of vibe.
Yes.
And even in that time, like when you had like Bonnie and Clyde out there, like people would be excited to see them on the like newspaper because of what they were wearing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the outfit.
The outfits.
They were setting up
a trend. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and even back then, like
Yeah.
trends, you know?
So it was like it's so interesting to see that, like, you know, become a trend. And it still is a trend in
Yes.
a way.
Especially because it's like the trend of like a spy type of thing, and it's
I
like
want to do a spy episode.
yeah. Also the bed.
Sorry.
So this is like becoming dark.
This is
here.
dark. You know what else? I want to do a Peaky Blinders episode.
I love Peaky Blinders.
I love Peaky Blinders.
I have not
is it
watched the
weird?
last season.
You should.
I don't want to. I don't want to say goodbye just yet.
Is it weird that I would watch it in the morning, like the first thing when I would wake up?
No,
Because it soothed me.
but I wouldn't watch it at night. I watched, I think it was the second season when it launched in the night, and that's where it's like very gory. I didn't sleep for 2 days.
I remember, like, I woke up the next day because I didn't stay up to watch it. And then Allie's like, I finished the season. I was like, how was it? And she's like, I'm traumatized.
I was like, good.
I was like, so I just have to fast forward that part.
And then I remember that whole night, or that whole 2 days, like before I could actually sleep fully,
Yeah.
we had the lights on.
Oh, yeah, the lights on up.
Dude, if it was dark, I'd literally see everything. And I was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, we need the lights on.
She was scared.
Anyways, so
Yeah. I feel like, okay,
Yeah.
so here's a question for you.
bring it on.
During that time too, I feel like women would dress like men, right? So they would have like the whole suit and like the trousers, but there was also women who just wore dresses, right? And like their berets and knitwear.
Mhm.
But what is your favorite look from that time period or from that era or that trend?
I think mostly because during that time we were still slowly transitioning from women from wearing skirts to pants.
Mhm.
I love the whole pants to trouser like
For a woman.
for a woman,
Yeah.
especially when they would wear their hats and they would hide their hair, and
they had their lipstick because it was still feminine, right?
My thing is when they would unbutton their like the coat thingy,
Yeah.
and then you'd see the vest under, but then when they would lift up their coat, they had like the their thingies, and for me was like, that's so badass. Like, that's that so cool. For me, for a woman, especially in heels, out of the park.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like for me, it goes back to that like pantsuit thing, but I love, and it goes back to Peaky Blinders. I love not when they have their coat, but when it's their vest and their shirt, like just like their button-up shirt.
Mhm.
But then you know how they have those things like that, like
cufflinks, I think. No.
I don't know if they're cufflinks, but they're the things that kind of go on their elbow part, like to like hold up their sleeve in order to like obviously get the job done. You know, they got stuff to do, crimes to commit. But that look, because it's like undone but not undone, because then like after they finish doing what they're doing, they'll put on their jacket like if nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
And like their hair's a little messed up, like
it's true.
Oh no,
a little bit of blood.
Yeah. But it's crazy to think about it, but like that's also a look. That's all, like you could picture it.
It's a look.
It's so dark now. I'm sorry.
So dark. Everyone's coming out of their work.
Yeah.
But we expressed our love. We did as much. I think we're gonna end it here because it's so dark. And for video purposes, you will not be able to see us probably in the next 10 minutes. Yeah. Not even like an hour. Next 10 minutes. And in the audio, like you can hear us, but you can hear us,
but it's not the same.
It's not the same. Anyways, so that is our episode for today. We did a double release. You know, we're Taylor Swift.
We're doing a double release.
Double release. So I hope you guys like it.
Yep.
We were gone last week, but we are back. We are back better than
two
ever.
Episodes for you guys.
2 episodes.
Hope you enjoy. Hope you like it.
Look at the videos.
Yep.
Also uploading them. They're funny.
Please
hilarious.
Follow us on our social media.
All the information in the description, both on Spotify and on YouTube. But with that being said, bye, Queenies.
Yeah. Also, let us know if there's any episodes you guys want us to do for next season.
Next season, we're
any
coming
topics.
To the end.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios. Criminals.